What an intense season finale it was. Finally, we witnessed the resolution of the hijacking situation during the 7-hour flight from Dubai to London. In the previous episode, Amanda had taken control of the plane, leaving us with numerous questions as we entered this climactic final episode. The main question was whether the hijackers knew who Amanda was and whether the plane would land safely. Additionally, we were curious about the fate of Edgar, John, and Kai. Please be aware that this video will contain spoilers. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. In this final episode, the entire focus was on the last hour of the journey as the plane headed to Heathrow. However, it was revealed that Heathrow was not the plane's actual destination. We learned that Amanda, the woman who took control of the plane, did so because her daughter was being held hostage by the OCG. She became a target for the hijacking due to her piloting skills acquired during her time in the Navy. The hijackers wanted her to fly the plane towards central London because the closer they got to the city, the higher the likelihood of a crash, causing the stock price of Kingdom Airways to plummet. It turned out that this stock price crash was the primary motive behind the hijacking, outweighing the initial belief that it was to free Edgar and John from jail, although that was a secondary reason. The hijackers had struck a deal betting on the stock price to plummet, and they succeeded in making a significant profit. This deal was executed on their behalf by one of the passengers we saw in episode 1, who was frantically running late to catch the plane. His panic was justified because had he not boarded the plane, the hijacking wouldn't have occurred and his family would have been in grave danger. The complexity of the motives adds weight to his panicked state and further enhances the intrigue surrounding the hijacking's true purpose. Amanda anxiously awaited a text from Edgar, signaling the perfect moment to land the plane since the stock price had plummeted to an all-time low and he was prepared to cash out. However, Edgar kept stalling, his eyes full of greed, wanting to squeeze every last bit of profit despite having already earned substantial returns. This behavior frustrated John, who had already planned to kill Edgar. As John confided in his companion, the decision to act sooner was already on the cards. Unfortunately, this meant that Amanda would never receive the crucial text message to land the plane, as Edgar was now out of the picture. With Amanda flying over the plane, uncertain of whether to land and with no update on her daughter's safety, passengers and crew grew increasingly frustrated and anxious. The hijackers, unaware of Amanda's identity, faced a revolt from the passengers when they realized the weapons they carried were not real, except for Sam's. The passengers bravely took control of the situation, overpowering the hijackers and securing the plane, but the uncertainty and tension during the ordeal were palpable. This was the moment when Sam's exceptional negotiation skills came into play. With the hijackers in possession of Amanda's phone and discovering information about her daughter, Sam cleverly used this knowledge to connect with her emotionally. He managed to gain her trust and persuade her to allow him inside the cockpit, which was essential for landing the plane safely, a decision she eventually agreed to. The tension escalated as they knew nothing about Amanda, and the two RAF jets hovered nearby, prepared to shoot down the plane over open water to avoid it crashing into the city. Fortunately, they received orders to stand down. With Amanda's change of heart, they decided to land the plane, only to find that it had run out of fuel and couldn't go any further. The situation was precarious as they had to glide the plane down to Northolt, a landing area that wasn't long enough and still posed risks. Amidst the uncertainty, passengers phoned their family and loved ones, not knowing if they would make it out alive. The outcome was uncertain and the tension was palpable, but the plane managed to land successfully even though it was engulfed in flames. Fortunately, they managed to escape safely and all the hijackers were captured. Amanda received assurance from the Home Secretary that she wouldn't face arrest for her actions against the pilot. After the tension subsided, there was an additional scene where Stuart remained on the plane, locking Sam inside, leading to a final face-off reminiscent of how the whole ordeal began. While it added tension, I couldn't help but find it a bit unnecessary, especially with the cheesy line at the end. Felt like something straight out of an 80s action movie, but I suppose it worked in its own way. With that, the show came to an end without any need for a follow-up, simply allowing the characters to continue with their lives. The concluding scene was perfectly summed up by air-controlled traffic in the UK, where Alice picked up her son from school. Overall, I genuinely enjoyed the season, and more specifically, the finale. It was the most intense episode of the entire season, which made it an excellent choice for the season's conclusion. The moment when the plane entered its descent and landed was emotionally charged and left a lasting impact. The suspense in the episode kept me on the edge of my seat, unsure if they would make it all out alive. The show had the potential to go for a dramatic and tragic ending, with the plane engulfed in flames and everyone killed off. The stakes were incredibly high, and this, combined with the powerful reactions of the characters and the emotive score, evoked intense emotions, not just in me, but likely in many other viewers as well. The fear and tension throughout the episode were gripping, and I found myself not wanting it to end, immersed in the captivating atmosphere. Since this is the final season, it appears there won't be any season 2. Nonetheless, a limited series, I think it delivered a decent and satisfying experience.